What's interesting to me is that we are finally, turning a corner here on UFOs. Where it's becoming, you're seeing some people saying, you know what, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm in the scientific community, and I'm going to start doing some research here. And I don't care. I don't care about the stigma. That's a great thing. And I believe that the Pentagon admitting that there's objects out there they can't explain, that's helping with this. Otherwise, I don't think it'd be happening. But one of the problems that I see with all of this, and is I just think that what we're seeing, it's basically history is getting rerouted. It's like, in 1947, I believe enough things happened in 1947, starting in 1947. I believe firmly that something happened in Roswell. Okay. I know a lot of people out there, even a lot of UFO investigators, a lot of people interested in this subject, they write that off. They don't want to talk about that. It's too polarizing. However, if you did your research on it, you would understand that something did happen in Roswell in 1947, and it's been covered up ever since. Okay. I'll leave that at that. And I believe from that point on, history has been rerouted. Human history has been human history was heading down a set of railroad tracks, and the government decided when that Roswell incident happened to reroute that train off to the side somewhere, right? Instead of going on the course it should have been going on. And it's been rerouted all the way up until now, until like 2017 to 2020. Now it's back on the track again, but they're going to try to pretend that little section of track that happened before 2004, from 1947 to 2004, they're going to pretend that didn't exist, and we just started seeing these things at the beginning of the 2000s. That's what I think. That's what concerns me. That all of that history that was denied the human race by people on the top, the Truman administration and the Eisenhower administration, whoever made those rules up early on, and all these years later, all these decades later, all of the stuff that was compiled by people, scientific groups, corporations, whoever was working with the government all these decades, that section of history is being denied the human race. But now they're trying to make amends. That's how it looks like to me. They're trying to make amends, and they're putting us back on track, but they're only going to start us from this point on forward. They're going to pretend that all this other stuff that happened from 47 until 2017, 18, 19, 20, that's nothing, or 2004 rather, from 1947 to 2004, when the object in the Nimitz, that's what it seems like because we're not getting any information about prior to the Nimitz. We're not getting, the government's not admitting to anything there, because then that would mean they'd have to say that they were lying the whole time, because they were lying. They were covering this up. Somebody was ordered, the people in the Air Force, Army, whatever, were under orders to never talk about this. Airline pilots were stifled. They're told not to talk about this or you'll lose your job. NASA officials were not allowed to talk. When astronauts saw stuff, floating around the moon that were extraterrestrial in origin, they were told to shut up about it. This has been going on for decades, and all of that history, our first interactions with these things, that's been recorded, and I am certain there's video, film, picture, documentation, all kinds of things that have part of the historical record that's going to be kept away from the public because of that one section of railroad track where it was diverted for all this time. Now they're pretending they're just starting to see these things now. That's a concern for me. But again, I am happy. This is just another. We talked just recently about UAPX that's going to be releasing some information. These scientists that were conducting experiments all through this year, and are going to make their findings public at some point this year. There's that. You have these guys here looking into it. You have some scientific organizations and groups and volunteers starting to do the work that should have been public a long time ago, and that's very, very interesting and very encouraging. But meanwhile, we do have the people out there that are going to continue to deny the reality, and that's fine. I'm starting to say, hey, if you're going to deny reality, that's again, you're part of a cult. You're part of a cult. Like if you think the Earth is flat, you're part of a cult. If you think that there's no extraterrestrials here on this planet, you're part of a cult. You're denying the reality. You're denying the evidence that's been collected throughout the decades. You basically have the government now telling you there's things out there they can't understand. They're not from China or Russia. You had Lou Elizondo recently make that statement. It's not China or Russia. He said that's preposterous because these things, people in our military have been seeing these things since the 1950s. These Tic Tacs ain't something new that just sprung up in 2004. They've been seeing stuff like this since the 50s. Anyway. So yeah, you're part of a. If you're in that system, if you're still you want to deny what's going on here, you want to deny the reality that there's a presence here from some other place, whether they're from another planet or another dimension, who knows? I don't know where they're from. I don't have those answers. I'm sure there's some scientists that have been working with the government that have some knowledge, right? Personally, I do lean toward the hypothesis that they're coming from other planets. But yeah, I think denying right now, denying it is like it's like you're shutting your mind off to reality, and it's time to snap out of it and start understanding what's going on here, that there is a presence.